Islamabad United getting those 2 points in the end just when they needed it. Karachi Kings were restricted to 150 for 7 after Shadab Khan won the toss and elected to field first. Kyron Pollard was their top scorer, and you saw in response Islamabad United, Shadab Khan again leading the way as a skipper, scoring those 34 runs in that crucial situation when there were a couple of wickets at the top, and in the end United winning comfortably by 5 wickets. Well, it was a great win by Islamabad United. We spoke about the league table earlier on in our pre-show and how important this game was for both the sides, Karachi Kings as well as Islamabad United, in order to make it to the playoffs, and they delivered quite well. Everybody contributed with the bat and the ball. There were quite some significant performances, and one such significant performance was by the man on my left today who joins us on pitch side, Tymal Mills, as well as Dominic Cork. Tymal, thank you so much for joining us. Firstly, important win. Let's talk about the win first. It was crucial in the context of things. Lost the game yesterday. So just in terms of how you're feeling about getting those 2 points, it was an important one.
Yeah, as you say, both teams needed to win today, so a bit of pressure on both sides. Obviously, this is our home ground, so we want to put in a good performance for the home crowd as well. But yeah, as you say, we only have one game left after this, so a very important match to win, and yeah, it puts us back up the table, and then we'll see what happens in the next couple of days, and then we'll know what we need to do when we play against Multan on Sunday.
Tymal obviously disappointed yesterday with that loss. Going into this game, obviously your record over Karachi is amazing anyway, even though your home record isn't as good. What was said, Shadab's just gone past saying, don't say anything bad about me. What was said on a serious note, because you know you really have to win this game because you've got to take on tabletop-in Multan on Sunday.
Yeah, look, we didn't try and put too much stress on it. I think everybody knew it was a very important game, and if we would have lost today, then we would have been struggling kind of going into Sunday. So everybody knew the significance of it. It was just a case of reminding everybody why we're such a good side, good individuals. Obviously had to shuffle the deck a little bit with personnel, but just trust the process really. We've played good cricket. We've got match winners all throughout the squad. We've got a very balanced team. We go into every game confident. It's just been a case of not quite executing for full 20 overs at a time. So yeah, it was more of the same really. And yeah, I thought we bowled really well and fielded and caught really well, particularly, and that set us up for the second half.
At the toss, Shadab Khan said to Ian Bishop that Nazim Shah and Ruman Race were rested. Rested or injured?
A bit of both. They both took blows yesterday. Obviously, a quick turnaround. We only played 24 hours ago. Rahman got hit on the boot whilst he was batting, and Naseem wore one on the back of the calf. So, just with a view to hopefully still another week or so left of the tournament. Yeah, they just made the decision to rest those guys, and myself and Matthew Ford came in. So, kind of good news for us. But yeah, obviously it was good that we were still able to win without those two, because they've been bowling really well. Naseem in particular has obviously been our best bowler for the last couple of weeks. So fingers crossed we can get him back for Sunday.
Yourself, you were looking in great rhythm today. You got 3 wickets, mixing it up nicely. What did you make of the conditions, and what was the bowling plan overall?
Yeah, it was an interesting pitch. It did a bit more than maybe what we're used to in Pindi. It certainly bounced quite a bit more from just back of a length. So we spoke about just trying to keep the stumps in play. It was pretty obvious as soon as we gave width, that was when we got hit for boundaries. So we just tried to attack the stumps as much as possible and use the surface as well, because there was certainly a little bit of bounce, and we saw that in the second innings as well. Even when Karachi were bowling, they were able to get the ball to bounce up off a length. So it was just a case of keeping the pace on more often than not and hitting the pitch hard.
There's definitely a difference between this surface this year than last year. There's more bounce and it's sticking in the surface. Why? Oh, we're trying to explain it up there, and it's swinging more and at night as well. Why is that? Yeah,
look, I'm not sure. I wasn't here last year. I was watching on TV when 240 was being scored regularly, so I'm glad that I wasn't maybe here for that one. But yeah, you're right. I think the boys say it always swings here early, but then after that it's normally a batting paradise. But for whatever reason, yeah, it's bouncing a bit more, it's seaming and kind of consistently all throughout the innings. So it's just a case of communicating that, identifying that as a bowling unit, and as I said to Zainab, communicating that well and talking to each other, making sure we all know, okay, one thing we spoke about today is you don't really need to go to your death skills really until the very, very end. If we can just keep smacking away, pace on, back of the length, the pitch will do the work for you. So communicating that nice and early, which I thought we did really well. And then the batting unit, obviously when we came to bat second, obviously they knew what was coming. They knew the ball was going to bounce a bit, so they could pick their balls a bit better, maybe pick their bowlers a bit better as well. So yeah, it's just assessing conditions, and yeah, but we'll see what we get when we come here again on Sunday.
Well, you've got the younger lot around you as well, the Shah brothers, the three Shah brothers, Hunain, Naseem, as well as Ubaid. What's it like to be around them? And I mean, obviously plenty of experience that you've got. What's your conversation been like with them?
Yeah, they've all been great. You know, Ubaid started the tournament in the team, and he's come out since Hunain has come in and done really well. He's shown really good skill both in the power play and at the end. And Naseem, of course, is a very experienced player already, even though he's still a young man himself. But they're very talented. They've all got slightly different skill sets, all bowl slightly different paces. But, you know, Hunain in particular, he's got a real knack for taking wickets. He tends to take wickets early in his spell. So it's just a case, as I say, of communicating what we think on the day. As I said today, it was a day for just hitting the pitch a bit more. And other days, you know, it's different tactics are needed as well. But yeah, it's great to have all three of them here together. It's great for them as well, and I'm sure it's great for their family also.
Who's the quickest?
Oh, Naseem. Yeah, Naseem's quicker. Although Ubaid, you watch him bowl in training or pre-game, Ubaid really gets some good bounce, so maybe watch out for him in a couple of years. But yeah, Naseem for now.
I just want to pick up on Fahim Ashraf, and there's a lot of talk about Fahim and his position in the side. Obviously, you've been around that squad, you've been around what's been said. He's definitely been backed, and the last couple of games is the reason why he's been backed, because player of the match performance today, but yesterday he just seemed like he got a little bit more nip and obviously came out and played well with the bat.
Yeah, he's obviously a very important player for us. He bats at 7-8 and he's a good bowler and he's also a very good fielder. So he is the type of player you back. He isn't the type of player you drop after 2 or 3 bad games, because that disrupts the balance of your team. But yeah, he probably didn't bowl quite as well as what he would have liked to in the first couple of games, which happens. But yeah, it looks like he's hitting the pitch a bit harder, maybe running in that touch harder, maybe just keeping things a little bit simpler, not trying to do too many things. As I've said multiple times now, just looking to keep it very simple today and smack away, and he did that brilliantly. And then we saw in the game yesterday he batted excellently as well, and he took some really vital catches for us in the field over the last couple of days. So yeah, he's the type of player, when you've got somebody batting at 7 or 8 that also bowls and fields well, they're your most important players. So you got to trust them, you got to back them, and that's something that this team certainly does.
So what are the plans now between now and Sunday? Because a much needed win, but of course you've got another game on Sunday.
Yeah, I think we're going go-karting and paintballing tomorrow. So I won't be playing golf. I'll be asleep. So a few of the boys will be up early to play golf. But yeah, we have 2 days off now, which is great. As I say, hopefully Naseem and Rahman can rest up, and then we'll see where they are for Sunday. But yeah, a couple of days off now. I'm sure there won't be too much training or anything. The schedule's been pretty full on. But yeah, fingers crossed we can get another win on Sunday and then head off to Karachi for the last leg.
All right, enjoy your go-karting experience then, and I'm going to let you off now. I'm sure you want to go and just celebrate with the boys and relax a little bit before you have another game. Well done to you. And there you heard it from Tymal Mills, of course, a jubilant Tymal Mills, because the much-needed points were gained by Islamabad United. We spoke about how important this game is for Karachi Kings and Islamabad United. Islamabad United now has gone up to that number 2 spot, right behind Multan Sultan. So it's been quite a jump thanks to that net run rate. They are sitting pretty at that number 2 spot, with Karachi Kings at number 5. It was an important game for them, but they weren't able to deliver when it was needed the most. Right then, so talking about this game, we've now been joined by Amir Suhail. Amir, just in terms of the performance of Karachi Kings, it was a bit of a disappointment from them. You look at that top order, there's been so much talk around that. The captain themselves, you talk about Shan Masood, hasn't really been able to deliver the runs.
See, you asked him these questions while you were interviewing him, and I think they should look at their batting order. If they have a player like Karen Pollard batting at number 6, all the top order batsmen have to think, we have to set a stage for him to come out and finish off strongly. But I think they have been missing a point here. They have to readdress their approach to be able to perform better in this tournament. And if they are able to do that, they still have a chance. They're not out of the tournament as yet. Yeah. Because if Islamabad loses the next game, they still have a chance. So they really have to bring that belief in themselves to be able to compete well here.
Absolutely, belief is what is required. But overall, it's been a disappointing journey from Karachi Kings. They're still pretty much in the hunt, like Amir rightly pointed out, that they're not completely out. But the fact that they haven't been able to get any kind of combination going. You know, they've been changing that top order. If you look at it, there's Tim Seifert, there's Mohammad Akhlaq. They've been changing things around, haven't really got stability at the top, which has been one of the reasons why they've not been able to score a lot of runs.
Well, I think their highest opening partnership before this game was 22. They've not got a 50 opening partnership, so that doesn't help. They have got match winners. The likes of Seifert, the likes of Vince, Pollard, they've got the match winners. But they're just not combining together, they're not working together as a side, things aren't going so well, and they're just not getting the combinations right. Look, they're still in with the hunt. They've got 2 games left, back at home, and they've just got to try and win them too and see how the other results go. But at the moment, the way that Islamabad have played, they've deserved to be now. I know they're second only on net run rate, they've only got 1 game left, but they've given themselves a chance of going through to the playoffs. Karachi, it's down to them. If they can perform, they may get in there.
I just want to say one thing about Shan Masood. Look, if you have a partner like Tim Seifert, who deals in boundaries, all he needs to do is keep on handing the strike to him. Just play a few overs and he'll get the form back. Take a leaf out of Fahim Ashraf's book. 1 good innings and you are back in form.
I think when you look at the fixtures and you look at them in Rawalpindi, and you can see the fact that what's coming up. Obviously, you've got Peshawar against Quetta. Quetta lost the last game, and then that game Karachi Lahore is a big one again for Karachi, because Lahore, that wounded team out of it, got nothing to lose. And then the big one, our last game here, where you've got obviously Islamabad taking on top of the table, and then you go to Karachi. So there's still so many things that can happen within this next 5-6 games going into those playoffs.
And for Islamabad United, like you said, it was an important win for them. But what's helped them, Amir, is their captain. The fact that he's been able to deliver runs, he's just been so brilliant for them in the last few games.
Look, it's good to see Shadab finding a home at number 4. He's been batting at number 7, 6, number 3. So, when you float your number as a batsman, you don't really know your role. But batting at number 4, he has found his home. And what made the difference tonight? His stoical calm at number 4. He came and handled the situation very well. He kept on nudging the ball around, occasional boundary, and that partnership actually helped their side to get over the line. And I think he should bat at number 4. He shouldn't think about moving from there.
Absolutely. And just in terms of performances, Koki, speaking of the player of the match, did a bit of everything today, didn't he? Yeah,
and I'm glad for him, because, there's always going to be doubters out there who are going to question why you're in the side. And I think yesterday we saw something from him, even though it wasn't in a match-winning performance. He got runs, he got his first wicket, and then today you could just see the confidence with the ball early on. And it was how he bowled on a surface. It was about hitting back of a length. He obviously got Shan Masood out early on. That will give you confidence as a bowler. And it doesn't matter about 2020, about the shots and where they're getting caught. It's about the pressure you create as a bowler to stop the batters from hitting you, and that's what he's doing now. And it's absolutely magnificent that going further into the competition. I think Tymal said about the fact that he's a multi-talented lad who can take big catches and smash it out the park first ball.
Absolutely, considering the fact that a lot of people were sort of questioning his place in the side before these 2 games that we've had, and what has his contribution been? For him to come through the way he has, taking those wickets, scoring runs, and also contributing in the deep by taking those catches, and overall an all-round performance by Fahim Ashraf.
For that you have to give credit to the captain and the think tank, because they had belief in these players, and that's why they were selected for this franchise. And they were very patient to see them gaining their form. And not only Fahim Ashraf, talk about Imad Wasim as well. They've been patient with him, and finally he started to bowl well. He started to do the job for the side.
And speaking of Imad Wasim, Koki, I asked him this question actually, whether he's interested in bowling in the power play or thereafter, and it just seems like that power play is the place for him. When you look at how he's gotten wickets over the years, that seems to be the time when he really sort of revels and does his best.
I've seen him a lot in England as well, do it for Nottinghamshire in the power play in the T20 Blast. He's done it for Karachi, where he looks to obviously make it difficult for batters early on. Maybe this isn't the surface to bowl him early on because there's something in it with the seam, but definitely early on, get him on in the power play. We've seen, the way they showed Melik's bowled as well. So ultimately, the spinners in power plays, I think, are key. And Imad Wasim, if we can get him bowling and batting, all of a sudden then you're going to see a different side as well going forward.
He looks a different bowler once the balls start to keep low, and that's where you have to use him.
Absolutely. Well, there you heard it. It's about utilization in the right phases. Well, I can tell you one thing, that we're entering the business end of the tournament and it's all getting really interesting in the HBL PSL. Peshawar Zalmi are up against Koira Gladiators tomorrow live at 6:38 p.m. We'll be here back in Pindi Cricket Stadium to be bringing to you all the live action. Today was a fantastic day. Thank you so much once again, Koki and Amir, for your thoughts. It was a fantastic game. Islamabad United versus Karachi Kings. A pressure game, actually, because those 2 points are going to be significant in the longer run of where these teams stand. Peshawar Zalmi is still in the hunt. There's Islamabad United, there's Karachi Kings, and Multan Sultans is the only side that has actually made it to the playoffs. They've secured their spot at the top, but the other three are what people are looking at. All the other players are eyeing for those spots. So that's all that we have for you. See you tomorrow.